Hasn't this dead horse been beaten enough as it is? Hello, this is Mara Jade, and I'm here with another video, and like clockwork, the Shill media is at it again, running interference for Sony and Naughty Dog, while at the same time being so laughably predictable in their talking points. Like this article I found on denofgeek.com entitled, The Last of Us Part 2, Why Some Players Hate This Sequel. The Last of Us Part 2 is quickly becoming one of gaming's most divisive titles. Here are some of the reasons why some players hate this game. Want to know the reasons? You want to know the reasons? Well, let's dive into this article and see what reasons could there possibly be for gamers such as myself for not liking this game. Or what criticisms gamers like myself could have about this game. Let's go. Let's dive into this, shall we? I'll give my 2 cents on it. Alright. In a way, it was inevitable that The Last of Us Part 2 would be controversial. After all, it's the sequel to a game that was not only widely beloved, but infamous for an ambiguous finale, which some felt didn't need to be resolved via a follow-up. Most people have said that. Most people have said The Last of Us could have been a standalone game. You could have left the ending ambiguous and leave it open-ended for people to imagine for themselves what the ending could be. It did not need a sequel, but yet here we are. The sequel was made, it was released, and it has become divisive. But not for the reasons why this guy thinks. And I'll go into this the further we get into this article. Even still, the reactions that appeared in the days that followed The Last of Us Part 2's initial leaks and eventual release have been somewhat surprising. Not surprising to those who have been basically calling it since the leaks happened, the ones who have been talking about it, the ones who have kind of warned others to say, hey, you can buy this game, it's your money, more power to you, but this is proving yet again, as we're progressing, to be true. So we're not surprised at all. Those who have maybe stayed away from the leaks are surprised. Those who have maybe stayed away from all the controversy surrounding the leaks and what was happening with Sony and Naughty Dog by extension, copyright striking, false copyright striking channels such as mine and others for simply talking about what was happening. But Den of Geek, did you cover it? No, you didn't. So maybe those people were surprised, but not those of us who have been, like I said, talking about it. Okay, at this point, when you hear that The Last of Us Part 2 is a divisive title, you're actually not hearing about just one controversy. No. There are currently several notable controversies that surround nearly all discussions involving the game. Said controversies have been resulted in thousands of gamers review bombing the game on Metacritic and other review platforms in an attempt to drastically drive down the sequel's overall user score. I will preface this statement by saying I do believe in some cases on Metacritic there were review bombings, but you can't say it was solely on one side of the spectrum, those who were giving it purposefully a low score to drive the score down, because there were those on the opposite side of the spectrum who were giving it a high score simply to stick it to the haters and critics of The Last of Us Part 2. So yes, there was review bombing going on Metacritic, I will grant you that, but at the same time, you cannot, 1, blame one side of the spectrum, and 2, you're completely discounting those who are giving genuine reviews of the game and giving it a low score. You are lumping them in with those who are actually review bombing the game and discounting their voices. So no, you cannot say that. You cannot definitively say that one way or another, or at least it's not simply black and white at this point. But let's go further, shall we? While we can't quite account for everything about The Last of Us Part 2 that fans object to, we thought it would be a good idea to break down some of the biggest The Last of Us Part 2 controversies in case you were wondering why it has quickly become one of the most debated games in recent history. Here's the first fucking controversy he goes into. The LGBTQ/diversity controversy. Yes, because we have not seen LGBTQ representation at all in video games before, or diversity in games before. No. It's this game. It's this game that's setting a precedent for that. Never mind, we've had LGBTQ characters in other games where they're flat out created to be LGBTQ, or you, as a gamer, giving the option to go that route with the choices you make in the story progression. Like Borderlands, LGBTQ characters. Assassin's Creed, options to go that route. Mass Effect, options to go that route. And so forth, and so forth, and so forth. Those games have been out for years. Decades, even. Have we cared? No. We've just wanted a good game. And look, right here, the first fucking controversy you give. There is sadly a vocal group of gamers who are attempting to criticize The Last of Us Part 2 over its diverse group of characters and emphasize on LGBTQ characters and storylines. Are there people like that? Yes, but they are a very, 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 very tiny minority of voices within the vast multitudes of gamers who are voicing their criticism of the game. But yet you're lumping everyone in because there might be some bad eggs in there. We really don't want to spend too much time on this one in an attempt to limit how much we amplify those voices. But basically, there are some who think that The Last of Us Part 2 focuses too much on Ellie and Dina's relationship, a character named Lev, who struggles with their gender identity at great risk to themselves and their family, and the game's generally diverse array of characters. It's not about the fact that the characters themselves are diverse, it's the fact that nobody cares because the characters themselves are fucking uninteresting as hell. You are throwing these characters in and telling gamers you will like these characters no matter what. Never mind that you put no effort in to their character development whatsoever from what I've seen from people who have been playing the game. Never mind that. No, we have to like them because it's diverse. We have to like them because one's a trans character and we have two lesbians right there. Actually, Dina's a bisexual. We have to like them because of those reasons. No, we want to like the characters as a whole. We want to like their personalities. We want to see ourselves in a way in these characters, and we can't if the sole focus is on their sexuality and preferences. It's essentially impossible to meet this particular controversy with a reasonable discussion, given the ignorant hatred at the center of it. Oh really? Oh really? Really? Where was the controversy with The Last of Us Left Behind? There was none, because Last of Us Left Behind is sitting at a comfortable 8.1. 8.1. That's the game that we found out Ellie is a lesbian. Yes, we found out Ellie is a lesbian on Last of Us Left Behind. But did we care? No, it wasn't review bombed. It got a very high Metacritic critic score and a user score. Comfortably at 8.1. That's a decently high score. But no, we don't like LGBTQ characters and representation and diversity and so forth. Go fuck yourself. Oh, I'm not going to go into that. Let's go further. Joel's death controversy. Roughly a few hours into The Last of Us Part 2's campaign, a couple hours, Joel is killed in front of Ellie by a mysterious new character and her band of survivors. We later learn that Joel's murderer is named Abbey and that she's seeking revenge because she's the daughter of one of the doctors who Joel murdered in order to save Ellie at the end of the previous game. There are a few problems with Joel's death in the minds of some players, and here's one. The first issue concerns the fact that Joel dies at all. Many fans cite Joel as their favorite character in the Last of Us series and were excited for the sequel largely due to the possibility that they might be able to play as Joel at some point and would be able to see the direct continuation of his story and relationship with Ellie. That is not the fact that Joel died necessarily. No, that is not the fact at all. It's the fact that players were lied to in the marketing, blatantly lied to. The trailer was purposefully edited and cut to make players think that Joel was going to play a crucial role in the story, that he was going to be part of the major storyline. He was going to be in most of the game. That's why people are upset. It's not because he died, necessarily, but because Sony and Naughty Dog purposefully misled gamers. The second major issue with Joel's death, in the minds of some, is that they say it does not make sense based on what we know about Joel's character. No, it doesn't. Joel, in the first game, is incredibly pragmatic. He's incredibly, cautious. He chastised Ellie at one point for offering quickly to help two people they did not know. His mind is basically keep people at arm's length. Don't trust but verify. Don't trust at all. He's basically the quintessential pragmatic soul survivors type of situation. He keeps to himself. He doesn't involve himself with anything. Doesn't want to reveal his name to anyone. Fast forward so many years now, he's become so stupidly complacent that he's willingly giving up his name to a group of survivors he does not know, goes with them to the place that he does not know where it is or like the location and so forth, doesn't know anything about them or the place, reveals his name, kind of reveals his identity, and is killed within the first 2 hours of the game. And what does it teach Abbey? Nothing! The whole purpose by the end of the game is that revenge is bad, but does Ellie learn that lesson? No! So Joel's death was meaningless in that regard. Meaningless because the only reason it was at all impactful is it spurred Ellie to go on a revenge spree. But by the time she gets to the person she wants to kill after she slaughtered hundreds beforehand, revenge is bad. And she decides to spare Abbey. Spare Abbey. But that spoiler's been out for how long now? So, you couldn't even get the story right. The marketing controversy, I touched on that. They blatantly lied. They blatantly made people think that Joel was going to be a center character within the story for The Last of Us Part 2. They deliberately manipulated the trailer to make people think that, and then 2 hours into the game of a 25 or so hour gameplay, that character, a beloved character, Joel, people believe is their favorite, or say is their favorite from The Last of Us, dies. After you've butchered his character development, his character arc. And you can watch that trailer. It's out. You can see the differences on other articles where they show the comparisons and how Sony and Naughty Dog purposely manipulated it to basically appeal to gamers and sucker them in to buying the game. The Abbey Controversy. As we previously mentioned, you play as Abby for about half of The Last of Us Part 2's campaign. Yes, you play as a character for half the game that you do not give two shits about. That, and the fact that that's the character who killed the beloved character from the first game, and you're forced to play as that character. You have no option to do otherwise. Actually, we talked about two of those reasons in the above controversy. Some people clearly don't like Abby because she's a female lead. No, that's not the fucking truth to that. No, we don't care if she's a female lead. We don't care about her because we don't care about the fucking character. She was not in the first game. She is only critical to the story because she butchers, she massacres, she murders a beloved character for revenge. She learns nothing from that. She has no remorse, no guilt whatsoever. She does not learn revenge is bad or anything like that. She gets let off with zero moral consequences. But you, the evil gamer, are slapped in the face by the end of the game and told revenge is bad, you're shit. And Ellie lets her go. So it's not because she's a female character, no, it's because she's a fucking horrible character to most people who are playing this game, who don't want to play as her. Yeah, an argument that's nearly impossible to logically address. You can't address it because it's not fucking there. Others are upset that there's a second playable protagonist in the game at all. Considering that we were told that Ellie would be the game's only playable character, yes. Marketing controversy, yes. Being lied to, yes. We would have loved a second playable character if that second playable character had been fucking Joel! Ending controversy. Well, spoiler alert, the ending controversy basically is Ellie slaughters most of the people in the compound, getting to Ellie. Like, I don't know how many people she murders on her way to tracking down Abby. So Ellie murders dozens, if not hundreds of people, gets to the final boss fight, starts beating the shit out of Abby, and flashback to Joel playing the guitar, and she decides, I can't kill her. I can't get revenge on this woman who massacred my father figure right in front of me. That's where the game itself is slapping gamers in the face and saying you're shit for going this route because revenge is bad. Meanwhile, again, Abby doesn't learn anything. Nothing. So I'm not going to go into that. The violence controversy, no one cares. No one cares. There have been how many violent games? Basically. Some fans felt that the sequels, trailers, and promotional material relied too heavily on violence, specifically violence against women. For fuck's sakes. They argue that the marketing's prolific use of such violence began to make it feel a bit gratuitous. Well, that's subjective, really. That's really subjective, and if you felt it was gratuitous, don't buy the fucking game. Don't. Spend your money somewhere else. That's really on the gamer's fault who felt this way and still bought the fucking game. Yeah, some have argued that the lack of control, down here in the third paragraph, that game gives you in regards to how you resolve enemy encounters not only dilutes the idea that you have inflicted unnecessary violence, but also comes across as a bit condescending. Kind of the whole revenge is bad, your shit ending to the game when you're playing as Ellie sort of a situation. Alright, that's the end of the article. Those are the controversies. And like I said, laughably predictable. Laughably predictable. and painfully so at this point. But at any rate, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you agree with the controversies? Do you think there's some truth behind them? I think the only really truth behind any of them is the review bombing, because there were some who went on Metacritic to purposely give it a low score, but at the same time were those who went on Metacritic as well to give it a purposely high score to stick it to us critics. But it is what it is. But at any rate, let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Share on social media if you will. I fucking hate these articles with a passion. And I hope to maybe do a live stream tomorrow evening about 8:30 p.m. Eastern, my time. So stay tuned for that. If I decide to do so, I will put a link up on Twitter if you follow me. So until my next video or live stream, this is Mara Jade. Hopefully I'll have the join button for my memberships up by tomorrow for the live streams. If you do want to become a member to my channel, you don't have to. I very much appreciate it if you do. But at any rate, I'll catch you on the dark side, and Abby fucking smash, I hate you.